the witr and nafil prayer. Is that correct? Adding a surah. First we said fixing reciting Surah Fatiha. Then we're saying to recite Surah Fatiha in the first two rakats of Fard and in all other rakats of every other prayer. Yeah? Now we're saying we have to add a surah to it now. Adding a chapter, a surah to it. Okay, I can't find the presentation, so we'll just go with this one. Basic Ajifik, level 1. Let's do level 1. This is I prepared something again. Yeah. No, you refer to my brother Qais, okay? I am not that old. Okay. This performing salah with Come on, what are you? So here, if you look at this, I'm going to show you on the screen. Here you go. This is something I prepared earlier. Okay, that's a bit too big. Can you see that? Not really, because that tree's in the way. So I'll try and move this. Is that better? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So there we go. We've got recitation Surah Fatiha. Yeah. There we go. That's big enough, isn't it? Yeah. So recitation Surah Fatiha. Okay. There's recitation Surah Fatiha. That's what one of the wajib. Fixing the reader Surah Fatiha first two rakats of Fard Salah. Okay. You're reciting in any that base first two rakats of Fard Salah in all of the rakats of every other Salah. Okay. Then we say reciting any long ayah. What do we say? Reciting any long ayah. What do we say? Reciting any long ayah, or three short ayah, or a surah. So what we're saying? Any long ayah, or three short ayah, or a surah. What did I say? Any long ayah, or a surah. Believe me, the reason why I've written like that is going to make it easy for you to remember. So reciting any long ayah, or three short ayah, or a surah, with what? With Surah Fatiha in the first two rakats of Fard prayer and in all of the rakats of Witr, Sunnah, Nafil Salah, in all of the prayers. Is that clear? You're all nodding. Have you all understood that point? No, there's a little bit of iffy and butty, and I'm not sure about that, Brother Qais. Can you please repeat that? Here. I'm talking about this one here. Look, this. Look at this bit. Let's move it a bit more this way. Can you see that? No, it's the other way. I need to go. There we go. Here we go. Reciting any long ayah. Here we go. Yeah? Reciting any long ayah, or three short ayah, or a surah. With what? Surah Fatiha. Okay, with Surah Fatiha in the first two rakat of Fard prayer and in all other rakats of Witr, Sunnah, Nafil prayer. Okay? That's a wajib. To recite Surah Fatiha before any surah or ayah. So basically, for example, I started reciting, I recited Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen and then Surah Fatiha, incorrect. So basically, to recite Surah Fatiha before any surah, that's also wajib. That's also wajib. So to recite Surah Fatiha first, before another surah, that's also, or an ayah, or three short ayah, is also wajib as well. So first you say fixing the recitation Surah Fatiha. To recite Surah Fatiha in the first rakat of the first and all of the rakats of every other prayer, reciting any long ayah, or three short ayah, or a surah with Surah Fatiha, in the first two rakat of Fard prayer and in all the rakats of all other prayers. Now we're saying is that, okay, when do you want to recite Surah Fatiha? It's wajib for you to recite Surah Fatiha before any surah or ayah. That's also wajib as well. Number 5, qawma. Qawma basically means, you know, when you go into ruku, standing up for ruku, standing erect from ruku. This is wajib. Now what happens is sometimes when you don't actually get up properly, you've not got qawma. Say for example, this is what he was referring to, those people who don't do the qawma jalsa properly. It means that sitting in between the two sajdas and standing up erect after the ruku, standing erect after ruku is this known as qawma. Sitting up between the two sajdas is known as jalsa. Okay, so what he said is that woe to those people who steal in prayer. In other words, is that who steal in prayer. Steal. What are you stealing? You're stealing a ruku or you're stealing a sajda. What's happening is that you don't do the ruku properly. That ruku properly is that you get up properly. Sami Allahu liman hamda, stand erect, let your bones settle, and then go into sajda. Not that's it. Did you see that? Did you see that? Not like that. Stand and then go straight away. They don't even stand erect properly after ruku and they quickly go down to sajda. This is incorrect because this will be one of the wajib as well. To do everything, tadil al-arkan, to do everything in nice and ease and settled, okay? That will be the case. Questions I will take, just keep them. So here, qawma, standing right after ruku, jalsa, sitting between the two sajdas. Jalsa. Qawma is what? Standing up after ruku. Jalsa is what? Sitting up after between the two sajdas. What's qawma? No, you're not falling asleep. What's qawma? Stand up after ruku. Jalsa. So we got up to number 6, isn't it? Yeah? So tell me so far, how many wajibats we've covered so far? 6. Tell me. Okay, I'm going to choose. Okay. Right. Brother, mashallah. Tell me the first wajib of... First wajib. Did anybody hear that? No, we didn't hear that. If so didn't hear you, I definitely did not hear you. So say that again. Oh, mashallah. The reciting Surah Fatih. Excellent. Number 2. What we said Surah Fatih is wajib to recite. Okay, fair enough. What's the next one then? Brother Bilawal. Before that, we'll talk considering Surah Fatih. What's the next one? To recite Surah Fatih before. Okay, fair enough. Before a surah or ayah, that's one of them. Stick to the tertib. We said Surah Fatih is wajib. To recite Surah Fatih is wajib. What's the next one? Go, Hafiz up. Again, see that again. To recite Surah Fatih in first 2 rakat of Fard prayer and in all other rakats of all other prayer. Okay? So we first say reciting Surah Fatih is wajib. That's clear. But where and when? Okay, Surah Fatih in the first 2 rakats of the Fard prayer and in all other rakats of all other prayer. Okay. But with what? With reading any short ayah or a surah or a long ayah with Surah Fatiha in the first 2 rakat of Fard prayer and all rakat of all other prayer. Okay, but should I recite the surah or the Fatiha first or after? Okay, that's why we say that you have to recite Surah Fatiha first before any surah or ayah. First one. Okay, brother, Isim Sharif, Haider? Haider Ali, please tell me for the first 4 wajib of the wajibats that we covered. Pehla, Ji. No, that's not wajib, is it? What kya hai? What is that? What's takbir? Huh? That's a fard. Okay. Okay, let's get back again. Come on, wake up everyone. So what's another wajib? Samajh aa rahe ho nahi? Okay. Well, that's the last ones. I want to know the first 4. So do you know how you remember it? No, that's well, obviously that's how you're going to remember it. It's very easy that imagine you're praying. You're now doing your prayer. You know which bits are the farz, don't you? So Allahu Akbar. What bits have we not said? Whichever bits we've mentioned, you know the farz so far, don't you? So you execute that. Okay, we know that's the farz. Now you're about to recite, right? So in terms of recitation, that's what we're actually focusing on now. Because so far, Thana has not been mentioned, has it? Subhanakallah, bihamdihi, tabaraka, ta'awuz and basmala has not been mentioned, has it? No. But we've mentioned Surah Fatiha. Okay, that must be a wajib. Now that should be a trigger point. Okay? So, Surah Fatiha, recitation Surah Fatiha is one wajib. Number 2, when do you recite Surah Fatiha? Brother at the back. Yes, but just when, just Surah Fatiha, forget the Surah. When do you recite Surah Fatiha? First rakat of Fard prayer and brother, first two rakat of Fard prayer and in all of the rakats, all of the prayers, yeah? So instead of me saying in Sunnah and Nawafil and Witr, you just say in all of the rakats and all of the prayer. Okay. Recite Surah Fatiha with what? Is wajib with what? Brother, another surah or long ayah or three short ayah with Surah Fatiha in first two rakat of Fard prayer and in all rakat of the prayer. I can't make it simpler than this. Okay? So now it should have not been hit. So I need you all to say bum 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 bum, okay? Because the reason why is whatever is first for you to know is first, whatever is first in the Sharia is first for you to know. Whatever is wajib for you to know. So it's not a light matter. And secondly is that if you don't categorically memorize this, then how will you know when to do such yourself? You'll now know, you're making yourself independent by knowing this so that then you can know when to do such yourself and when not to. You understand? Okay. Brother Abdul, first one? Yeah, go on. Can you mention the first four of wajib, of prayer? Cheating? without looking. Okay. Good, excellent. We've got one, so there you go. You make yourself an okay. Recite Surah Fatiha. The next one. Of what prayer? Yeah, and all rakat and every rakat all of the prayer. Good. That's second. Number two. Number three. To recite Surah Fatiha. Okay. Brother Majid. Yes, excellent. With any surah or excellent or okay. One long ayah or and with Surah Fatiha in where? Where are you going to recite this? When is it wajib? Excellent. Yes, that's good. That's it. Okay. So I say it again. So by today, you should be like, well, Brother Qais, this is just exploding. And my mind's exploding. I know my wajib, yeah? So to recite Surah Fatiha is wajib. Then what we're saying is that next part is reciting Surah Fatiha in the first two rakats of Fard prayer and in all rakats, all of the prayers. Number three, to recite Surah Fatiha with another surah or ayah or three short ayah with Surah Fatiha in the first rakat of Fard prayer and in all rakats and all the prayers. Number four is to recite Surah Fatiha before any surah. Number five, Qoma. Number six, Jalsa. Boom, that's it. This is the main crux of it. That's the main bit. As soon as you get past, it's easy. Okay? Jalsa, Qoma, Jalsa. What's the next one after Qoma and Jalsa? Qoma, we said is standing up right after. Qoma, Jalsa. Okay. Number seven, to perform Qaida Ula. Qaida Ula is basically saying, and sitting in the to extent of reciting Tashahud, okay? What we say Qaida Ula is that if there's a 3 rakat salah, okay, or a 4 rakat salah, then after the first 2 rakats we sit down for at-tahiyyat, yeah? That's known as Tashahud, okay? So what we say the Qaida Ula would be is that just to sit for that duration, not to recite anything, but to sit for Qaida Ula, just for that duration of at-tahiyyat is sufficient for you to have a wajib. But then what we also said is that to recite at-tahiyyat, tashahud, is also wajib. Okay? So like we said here, that's what 7 and 8 is saying, to perform the first sitting Qaida Ula, sitting to the extent. Oops. Okay, I should follow the laptop. What the screen says. want me to zoom out? Are you sure? What is it? There you go. So 7 and 8 to perform the first sitting, Qaida Ula, sitting the stairs saying Tashahud. Number 8 to reach Tashahud which Tayyat in the first sitting and in the Qaida Akhir in the last sitting as well. So if you miss At-Tayyat in the first sitting as well as the last sitting, any one of the At-Tayyat, to recite At-Tayyat in the first sitting and the last sitting is wajib. But to have the sitting itself in a 3 rakat or 4 rakat, or the first sitting is wajib. So to here, number 7, to perform the first sitting, Qaida Ula. To read At-Tayyat in the first sitting and the last sitting, Qaida Akhir, remember, is a fard. So recite At-Tayyat in the last sitting is also wajib. To end the salah by saying salam. To end salah by saying salam. So basically now, the contents, more or less the contents of the prayer has been filled. Okay? More or less the contents of the prayer has been filled. Up to say to end the salah by saying salam, assalamu alaikum rahmatullah is wajib. Okay? So what we'll do here, up to 9, we should now, let's focus more again. The first 4 we focus, 5 to 9 let's focus. So we say qawma, standing erect after ruku, jalsa, to sit in between 2 sajda. Number 7, to perform the first sitting Qaida Ula, that's just sitting for the duration at tayyat, not to recite At-Tayyat. And number 8, to read Tashahud At-Tayyat in the first sitting and the last sitting. And number 9 is to end salah by saying salam. Okay, again repeat. Qawma, Jalsa, Qaida Ula, Tashahud, and then Salam. Again, Qawma, Jalsa, Qaida Ula, Tashahud, and then Salam. If you miss number 7, you missed a wajib. So for example, let me give you a hypothetical scenario. You're reading namaz, right? 4 rakat namaz or a 3 rakat namaz. And what's happened is that your mind drifted, right? Most likely, if you missed number 7, you certainly would have missed number 8, one of the number 8s. What happened is that instead of sitting for the second sitting of Qaida Ula, you got up. It happens. You forgot. Many times we recite behind the Imam, we think he's supposed to sit, he's not supposed to, he's got up, and many times, you know, we think he should have got up, we sat down, so we got up ourselves. So basically, Qaida Ula is that you perform the first sitting. So what happens is that in the 3 rakat namaz or 4 rakat namaz, what's happening is that you get up. You forgot to sit for At-Tahiyyat, sitting for the first sitting. So now in the first sitting, if you're not sat, you know recite At-Tahiyyat. So even if you get the last sitting, the Qaida Akhir, which is a fard, and you recite At-Tahiyyat, fine. But you missed number 7 and you missed one of the At-Tahiyyat of number 8. So therefore, no, it doesn't. Number 7 is saying Qaida Ula. Just to sit, not to recite it, and just to make that sitting is sufficient. All right? But then we added that, saying that no, you should, when you sit there, you should also recite At-Tahiyyat. You understand? So if let's say for example, I'm doing a 4 rakat namaz or 3 rakat namaz, I'm going to sit after 2 rakats. Right. Now, for me to sit, that's a wajib. Then for me to, in that, what should I recite? To recite At-Tahiyyat is also wajib. Okay? That's part of number 8. So sitting, reciting At-Tahiyyat in the first sitting as well as the last sitting. Understand? So if, now what happened is that I missed At-Tahiyyat out, therefore I have to recite Sajda Sahw. I have to do Sajda Sahw. Okay? Then to say salam, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. To end the salah by saying salam, you finish it, this is also a wajib. Yeah? Clear? Right. Maintain the correct sequence of Qiraat, Ruku, Sajda and Rakat. What we're saying is that you start with the recitation first, then you go into Ruku, then you go to Sajda. It cannot be that you stand right, you recite, then you go to Sajda. You break the sequence, that's a wajib. You have to maintain the sequence. Is that clear? You have to maintain the sequence. Okay, number 11 is to perform every posture with ease and calm. So if you don't get up properly in ruku, if you don't stand and your bones have settled and then you go to sajda, or when in between the two sajda you don't get up properly and your thing is not settled, then basically is that you are violating that condition, so therefore it's not performed with itikaf. So if you're doing bullet namaz, most likely your salah is going to be invalidated. So take it easy. Don't just rush it, take it easy, okay? To perform every salah with ease and calm. Number 12, like what you're going to be doing in Eid, inshallah, Aziz, as well. But what we're doing now is that to say Takbir Allahu Akbar Qunut and to read a dua Qunut in witr prayer, okay? To say Takbir. Now remember, this is so important. Many times when the Imams are, let's say for example, the Imams are, you're covered, okay? But when you're doing witr salah on your own and you just raise your hands and you don't say Allahu Akbar, you don't say Allahu Akbar for the witr, you know the third rakat, we say Allahu Akbar and then Allahumma nasta'inuka nastaghfiruka wa nu'minu bika wa natawakkal alayk, yeah? If you don't say Allahu Akbar, you missed a wajib. And to recite Allahumma nasta'inuka, dua qunut, Allahumma inna nasta'inuka nastaghfiruka wa nu'minu bika wa natawakkal alayk is also wajib. So just by saying, just by raising your hands doesn't cover it. You have to say Allahu Akbar and you have to recite the qunut. You miss either one of them, you have to perform sajda sahw. Okay, you have to perform sajda sahw. 1 second. To say the 6 takbirs in Eid prayer. So Eid salah is coming up. To say the takbir, again, it's not about raising the hands. To say Allahu Akbar. I love Eid prayer. Do you know why? Because we don't do it that often, do we? Twice in the year. So by default, if you don't know how to pray, what do? You find the guy with the beard, stand next to him, he'll know. So what you do is that, okay, I'm going to finish this, but so tell them to put the kettle on. Yeah. So basically what happens is that you look at the guy with the beard and you think, yeah, this brother seems as though he knows his stuff, so I'll stand next to him. So you're doing Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and that's it, then okay. Then you do it. But unfortunately, if the other person doesn't know, he'll also be looking at you, Allahu Akbar. We don't know what we're doing, we just say Allahu Akbar. We don't know. Do we close our, fold our arms? Do we put it down the side anyway? So the 6 additional takbir that you do in Eid, to say the takbir Allahu Akbar loud, is wajib. Okay? Now there's a specific ruling. Say like, if you join the Eid prayer, we're not going to go into that. It's a long ruling. We're not going to go into that. We just need to know that for us, 6 takbir in Eid Salah is wajib. That's how we say it. Now the other thing, for those budding people there who are going to lead the prayer, for the Imams to recite Qiraat loud in the Fajr, first 2 rakats of the Fajr, first 2 rakats of the Maghrib, and first 2 rakats of the Isha, as well as the Jumu'ah, as well as the Taraweeh of Ramadan, and the Eid prayer as well, is that to recite them aloud is wajib. Okay, it's wajib. Now what will happen is that, let's say for example, he's supposed to recite loudly, person's supposed to recite loudly in the first 2 rakats of Maghrib, let's say it's Maghrib Salah, and he forgot he's doing Maghrib. So Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin Rahman Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. He has to sajda sahw. Okay? He should then, the moment they realize, so Muqtadi will say Allahu Akbar or something like this, so that it gives an ishara what you're doing, Imam Sahib, you need to recite loudly. Or let's say for example, he's doing Zuhr namaz or Asr namaz and he started to recite loud. Let's say he starts saying Alhamdulillah Rabbil, and he realizes. The moment what he has to do, now you have to sajda sahw. Yeah, you go quiet. No, this is as soon as you do. What I mean is that you go quiet. If you're supposed to be quiet, you go quiet. If you're supposed to be loud, you go loud. One or the other. Okay? As soon as you realize. But if you did do that, for example, if you did the opposite to what it is, at the end you need to perform sajda sahw. So it's wajib for the Imams to recite loudly at Fajr, first 2 rakat of Maghrib, first 2 rakat of Isha, the Eid prayer, the Jumu'ah prayer, the Taraweeh. Okay? And if you're doing the witr prayer as well. Apart from the Qunut. And then number 15, to recite Qira'ah silently in Zuhr, Asr, 3rd and 4th rakat of Maghrib, 3rd and 4th rakat of Isha, and the Nawafil prayers during the day. All Nawafil prayers during the day, you have to do them silently. So here is that if any wajib actions are missed, then, or delayed, this is the other thing as well, if you delayed, critical information here is that you have to do sajda sahw. Let's say for example, I'm waiting, I don't know what I'm supposed to recite. Sometimes you have that problem, what should I recite? I've recited Surah Fatiha and I'm waiting. Because we said to recite Surah Fatiha with the surah or 3 short ayahs or 1 long ayah, we have to do it more or less consecutively. Now I'm thinking, what am I supposed to recite? What am I gonna? to the extent if that gap is about 3 tasbeehs where you can recite Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, if it's longer than that 3-second period, you've delayed it. You delayed the wajib. And if that's the case, you need to do sajda sahaf. Or for example, a person is doing Taraweeh, Imam Sahib's completely forgotten where he is, and the other Imam Sahibs, the Huffaz who are behind him, don't also remember where he is, and he's thinking, and there's a big pause. I'm sorry, what will happen is that eventually he may get the ayah, he may go back to what he recited before, but if that gap is too long, they need to do sajda sahaf. And for people who are Huffaz and people who do lead prayer with your friends, etc., etc., the minimum requirement for you to lead the prayer is learn your fard, learn your wajib, learn your mufsadat, the minimum. Because if you do not do sajda sahaf, your namaz is invalid. You need to repeat the prayer. Or you could say to yourself, it's deficient. You'll be extremely sinful if you don't actually repeat it. So technically you're supposed to repeat the prayer. Otherwise you'll be very, 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 very sinful. Okay? So sajda sahaf, you perform sajda sahaf. So what I want you to do is I want you to now more or less learn that for tomorrow. Okay? Learn it for tomorrow. I'll leave it up here. What you're also going to do now is that we've done the wajib. So I'll repeat again. Fix a recitation Surah Fatiha. Fix the reader Surah Fatiha in the first 2 rakats of first by no other rakats of every other prayer. Reciting any long ayah or 3 short ayah or a surah with Surah Fatiha in the first 2 rakats of first by no other rakats of all of the prayer. To recite Surah Fatiha before a surah or a ayah. Qoma, sitting up after ruku, standing up after ruku. Jalsa, sitting between the 2 sajdas. Number 7 is to perform the first sitting qaida ula. Number 8 is to recite at-tahiyyat in the first and last sitting. Number 9 is to end salah by saying salam. Number 10 is to maintain the correct sequence in qiraat, ruku, sajda and rakat. Number 11 is to perform every posture with ease and calm. Number 12 is to say takbir Allahu for kunut or dua, and to read the dua kunut in the witr prayer. Number 13 is to say the 6 takbirs of each part of the salah. Number 14 is for the imam to recite qiraat loud in salah of fajr, first 2 rakat of maghrib, first 2 rakat of isha, in jum'ah, in eid, and the taraweeh, and the witr prayer in Ramadan. And then to recite qiraat silently, the imam to recite silently in the asr, zohor, as well as the 3rd rakat of maghrib, 3rd and 4th rakat of isha, and in all nafil prayers during the day. Failure to do this, any omission or any delay in these wajibats means that you have to do sajda sahaf, which we'll discuss tomorrow. What is sajda sahaf? And secondly is that what we say that, for example, let me just get to the bit. There's one I need to hear salam. Okay, one important point about salam. Let's say you're late, you come late to join the Jamaat, okay? And you want to say Allahu Akbar and you want to join the Jamaat. What's happened is that Imam's in the last sitting and he's about to finish. If you can join him before he says his first salam, you've got the prayer. Is that clear? So for example, Imam's about to say Assalamu alaikum. If you can join him before he says Assalamu alaikum, you've got the prayer. If it goes beyond that, you've not got the prayer. You understand? Now when I say you've got the prayer, it doesn't mean that I have to be sitting. You know, in the same, let's say I'm standing up and I said Allahu Akbar and I stood. The moment I said Allahu Akbar and I stood and the Imam said Assalamu alaikum, and then as he's saying that, wa rahmatullah, as he's saying that I sit down, I've still got it. It's a matter of the moment I say Allahu Akbar, have I got that point before he says the first salam, Assalamu alaikum. Okay? Is that clear? Another thing is that for you to be clear about, you know, on last Friday we were here. You know, last Friday you heard Dr. Idris Sahib, what he did was he said Assalamu alaikum. That's because in the Maliki fiqh, this is how they do it. In Hanafi we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. In Maliki fiqh it's just Assalamu alaikum. That's it, that's all they do. To the right, and that's it finishes the prayer. Okay. That's in the Maliki fiqh. Just so that you, in case you were wondering why he did what he did, is actually in their fiqh this is correct. But in Hanafi fiqh, we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. That's the wajib. The next one is sunnah. Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is sunnah. First salam is wajib, next salam is sunnah. Okay. MashaAllah, yeah. So he was, yes. That's it. He was very generous. Yeah. So it's because in case you, yes, yes. Yeah, go on, Bilawal. You'd have to use the wording that it's been specified and according to what's been revealed. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Okay. Any other question regarding the wajibats? Okay. Yes, Brother Abdullah. That's fine as well. That's fine. Yes, it's fine. I'll discuss this about the order what you're supposed to have. For example, if you've forgotten which was in the Hanafi fiqh, you're supposed to recite a surah which is higher. So, for example, if I started with surah number 113, I should the next rakat I should read 114. Okay. Let's say, for example, I recited Alam Tara Kayfa Fa'ala Rabbuka bi Ashabil Fil. I cannot now recite Wailul Kulli. I have to go to Li'ila fi Quraysh. Now, if I want to, what should be the gap in the Hanafi fiqh? The gap is 2 surahs. So, if I want to not recite Li'ila fi Quraysh, I cannot then go on to recite Ara'ayta Alladhi because it's not 2 surah gap. I have to recite Inna A'tainaka Al-Kawthar. So, if I recite Surah Fil, Alam Tara Kayfa Fa'ala Rabbuka bi Ashabil in the first rakat, and I didn't want to recite Surah Quraysh, Li'ila fi Quraysh, what would be disliked or karaha in Hanafi fiqh is for you to recite Ara'ayta Alladhi. Your namaz will still be valid. No, we're saying is that it would be disliked in Hanafi fiqh. You need to recite either Inna A'tayna or anything above that. So قل يا أيها الكافرون إذا جاء تبت يدا قل هو الله قل فلا قل رب الناس. Either anything up beyond that, but the gap should be 2 surahs, and then the one that comes after it. Yeah, that's called Rafi Yadain. That's Rafi. In other fiqh, on the other school of thought, it's called Rafi Yadain. Is raising the hands again before. In Shafi'i fiqh or Hanbali, it's fine. It's for them to do. But for Hanafis, we don't do that. Just like when we recite Surah Fatiha and the others in other fiqh, they recite Ameen louder. Ameen. When the Imam says Dallin, and everybody recites Ameen. In Hanafi fiqh, we say that we recite this silently. We say it quietly, Ameen, quietly. It will be incorrect for you to do that because the Hanafi position is that to recite it, okay. And if you do recite it loudly, unfortunately, the other people think you're a Wahhabi or something like that. So, you shouldn't think like this. But he'll say, oh yeah, it's incorrect to think like that. Imam Shafi'i and others have said that's what it is. But what they've also said is that if you're in a masjid of, let's say, you're in a Hanafi mosque, you should respect the madhab. They are Shia. So we don't. This completely not in the Sunnah. They're completely no. I mean that this is not our even. They're not the part of the Sunni. They are Shia who put stone. Okay. Is that clear? Regarding the wajibats, any question? Okay. Okay. Yes, Hamza. No. Because obviously qiyam sounds like one thing and qoma is another, sounds like another thing. Qiyam is just standing. Qiyam is to stand upright, and qoma is to stand erect after ruku. Okay? Okay. Qiyam upright, and then qoma is to stand up after ruku. Okay? That's fine. If you don't know Dua Qunut, recite something else which you do know. Okay? Inshallah, as a seek forgiveness, but be in the process of actually thinking, reciting it. At-Tahiyat if you want to, or Subhanallah, 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 whatever. If for those who don't know any Arabic, then ulamas have said even if you recite Subhana Rabbil A'la, whatever, any tasbih or whatever, or surah, if you want to recite Surah Ikhlas, recite that, but be in the process of learning it. Okay? No, not for the Eid for prayer. No, you should waste your time on it because Dua Qunut is Dua Qunut is a wajib. No, this is whoever. No, you should waste your time because it's a wajib and you should learn it. You can endeavor to learn, for example, if you did a taxi job and you want to learn maps, you can learn a map. You can learn the roots. You can memorize the roots. If you want to do any exams and you need to memorize certain definitions and terms, you do that. This is your deen. You can do, but if you have the ability, you gotta ask yourself: is that I'm not being disrespectful to anybody? Please don't take an offense if you are, unless you have a learning difficulty where you can't learn, which I don't think we have. Okay, you have no ability, i.e., you are dyslexic and you're disabled and you can't whatsoever. Is it? Or you just embrace Islam, and you even those people who embrace Islam, I can show you that they can still learn it as well. If you find it difficult reading the Arabic, learn it in transliteration form. Subhanaka. Write it out. Allahumma inna nasta'inuka wa nastaghfiruka. Yet tajweed won't be there, but it'll be more or less there. Then you brush it up with tajweed. Then you brush it with the proper recitation. You understand? But this is what we're doing, is that we're excusing ourselves. And this dua, this kunut, honestly, I swear to you, if you understood the meaning, you cry. Allahumma inna nasta'inuka wa nastaghfiruka. Allahumma inna nasta'inuka. Allah, indeed we seek your help. Wa nastaghfiruka, and we seek your favor. And so on and so on. It enables you to submit and be submersive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, subserve to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and beseeching you for help, beseeching that your humbleness and total need to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a beautiful, beautiful dua. So learn it. And it's not going to take you long. Take one word or two words at a time, even if it's a day, within 14 days you learn it. Sorry? These instructions. Yes, inshallah, you can take it from me, inshallah. Yeah, you can get it from internet. If you got mobile phone, go on the line, there you can find it nowadays, yeah? Okay. Any other questions? I have to be upstairs somewhere quickly. Any other questions? The reason why is because it's when there is a problem, when there is an excuse where you do not know, or you are new to Islam, that's where the leniency, where you say, okay, we can do a default leniency, you can do that, because there's a reason behind it. When there is no reason, or there's no excuse, it's a wajib, you need to do that. Okay? Okay? Now what I want you to just have is up. This is fine. Yeah, that's fine. Even if it's a long surah, within, let's say for Surah Yasin, you recite the first, let's say first page of Surah Yasin, and then the second, last page of Surah Yasin. This is fine. Okay. Yeah, you can also that's how you prolong the salah. Is that to lengthen your prayer, especially at tahajjud, is that if you want to lengthen your prayer, yes, add the surahs. Of course, there's no harm in that whatsoever. Okay? I'll leave you there. All right? What I want you to do, I want you to do your dhikr, and I want you to do your muraqabah. Is that clear? Oh, before that, sorry. Those of you, now you're all thinking you started the dhikr and said you need to take one of these. It's just minutes up. Have the muraqabah on there. Have the prayer sheet, you'll have the tongue sheet, you'll have the way to do the dhikr as well, and your muraqabah method to do that, okay? Give that. If you want to purchase and you don't want to think you want to purchase one, then you need to pay, I don't know how much, £5 or £10, I don't know what it is. Okay, fine. I don't know. I don't know if you don't need that. I have to go. I'll leave that there. I have to go upstairs. The dhikr, listen, 10 minute dhikr is today, 10 minute now dhikr. 10 minute muraqabah if you don't mind, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. Just before that, I'm just going to do 2 seconds with them
Yeah.
on when you join the prayer for the Imam and how you complete your rakat. My brothers, just really quick one. So, who here has ever been late for Salah? MashaAllah, Muhammad Abbas has never been late for Salah. Who's never been late? Okay, that's fine. So this is when you're praying with the Imam. I just want to go through it. Let's just do a quick demonstration. When you're praying, when you catch the Salah with the Imam. And only really a problem when you're praying 4 rak'ah Salah with the Imam, yeah? So you have to done the Salah with the wajibat, so you know the sequence. So Imam's praying. Can everyone hear me? So you might have to come over to this side. Come stand up so I can demonstrate. This is where you and Mike will get the clip. Okay, let's just do it this way. Let's see if this works. So the Imam's reciting, and you've got to you've missed 1 rak'ah. Yeah. So when you join, how many will you pray? So it's a 4 rak'ah salah. That you miss 1. How many rak'ahs will you have with the Imam? You have 3, and you will have to therefore make up 1. Yeah. And if you are, so let's say you missed 3 rak'ah. Yep. How many have you caught with the Imam? 1. How many would you make up then? 3. Okay, so Brother Sikandar, do you mind standing up? Put the book down. Just stand here. So you caught what? How many rak'ahs with the Imam? You caught only. You have to make how many rak'ahs? Well, we just went through that. How many did he miss, everyone? He missed 3. Yeah, so you have to make up. You make up 3 when you miss 3. Yeah. So you caught how many with the Imam then? 1. They're not trick questions, I promise you. All right. So you caught 1 with the Imam. Okay. So go down to the shahad, please. So the Imam has done Salam. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Then what do? So you get up. That's fine. So he's making. Oh, then what do? Carry on. Yeah, of course. Bismillah, whatever you think is appropriate. Yeah. He's doing the fards. He's doing the wajibats. All the integrals are being fulfilled. Very good. Beautiful posture. Very good. Now, Sikandar, why did you stop? Why did you stay seated? Sorry? You have to do how many? No, you missed 3. So you tell me. That was the whole point of this, but yeah. Okay, this is going to be hard to demonstrate. Let me explain this to you. So this is common, and it's a common problem. I see it even now in Itekaf when I'm praying when I see people next to me that have prayed. Let's say you caught just 1 rak'ah. So you've got to make up how many? 3. So what will happen is someone will stand up, like Brother Sikandar has. He'll stand up and he'll make up, and he'll just count his 3, just to make up his 3. But you've just done the wajibat salah, and after every 2 rak'ah, what is a wajib? What do you have to do? You have to stay seated, don't you? So now let me give you an example then. So, how did you miss? He missed his 3. He just caught 1. He got up and he's caught his rak'ah. Now the way you count is what you don't start counting. So you start counting like when you start. So you caught 1 with the Imam, stood up, and now on what rak'ah? 2. That's it. Now count that way. If you count that way, you won't miss it.
Because you've got to stay seated straight away.
So I caught 1. So when I come down and do everything, I stay seated at the shahad. reset itself. But it's quite important thing. To be fair, I think it materialises more when you actually do your salah. But it's something to think about because even being here over the course of whatever days, unfortunately, I've been a bit late on some of the Jamaats here. I shouldn't say that on mic. But it's a common problem that I come across again and again. Okay, finally, was there any other questions that anyone had? Yes. So if you miss all four, good question actually. So if you miss all four, but you still caught the Jamaat, so and I think Ustaad Qais mentioned how you still catch you managed to get there before the Salam, you've caught the Jamaat, yeah? That's easy, because you just pray your own prayer afterwards. Does that make sense? Are you with me? So you just do what you would do normally. There's no issue with that. Does that answer your question? Okay. Any other questions? Sorry, Abdul Qadir? Do you have? Oh, okay, that's fine. So it's actually easy at one level. If not saying, I'm not recommending that anyone misses the entire salah, yeah? But if you just miss all four, then you just repeat the prayer, effectively. Yes, someone. Yeah. Yes. Whenever you meet the imam, wherever it is, if it's something that you should be reciting, obviously we don't. What do we not recite? We don't recite when the imam's reciting in terms of Fatiha and light, but the Shahad, At-Tayyatu, the Tasleems, when you recite all of that. Yeah. Hamza, you had a question? Okay, does everyone hear the question? Say that again, louder. Yeah. 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 So how do you handle the two? You caught one card. Good. You tell me. That's perfect. He's asked the right question. What do you do? So it's Maghrib Salah. He's missed two. He's caught one with the Imam. So what do you do? You'll stand up, won't you, after the Imam gives Islam? So that's what rakah for you now. Second, exactly. Then you go down. You do then you after you do your sujood. Do you come up or do you stay seated? That's it. You normally come up. And he's the only one that's probably visualised it. Not 90. A lot of people will come up, but you don't. You're absolutely right. You will stay seated, and you do the shahud, and then. And why do you stay seated? You can explain to me now why. Because what did you just learn about the wajibats? After your two rakah, it's wajib to sit for the shahud. That's what's causing. So your wajib forces you to sit, even though you think I've caught one rakah with Imam. I just sat through the shahud, did the salam, all that kind of stuff. And then you got up, you've done your number two, but now you're forced to sit, and then you complete your final one after that. Absolutely, exactly that. Very good way to put it. Any other questions? No. Okay, can we just so the book Ustaad Qais has given everyone. Just have a really quick run through this. Oh, just a principle for Hanafi fiqh. If you're praying behind someone else that's of a different madhab, if you're praying behind someone else who's of a different madhab, yeah, what's the position? If they're doing but Abdul Qadir asked a good question. I think it might have been him. Someone said they're doing Rafadain all the time. You follow your own in terms of what you know, but in terms of validity of prayer and all that kind of stuff. So there's a premise, there's a principle in Hanafi fiqh. There's a key principle. Remember this: if the Imam's salah is valid, if his salam is valid under whatever school he's doing it under, then as a follower your salah is valid. Does that make sense? So, for example, the Shafis can only recite one ayah. It's fine for them just to recite one. We don't recite one ayah. It's not even. It would fail our fard. That's how big a difference it would be. That if the Imam if it's valid for him, then your salah is valid. So anyone who's praying on a Shafi right now, in their witr, they don't have qunut, for example, and they split their witr between 2 and 1. Lots of different things that happen. Sometimes people freak out a bit, but the point, they don't have, so their witr is split between 2 and 1. So they after 2 rakahs, do Islam with them. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which in the Hanafi madhab is makruh to do the Salam after that, yeah? But if the person if I was leading it, it'd be problematic. As a Hanafi, I can't. But if you're following someone and it's valid in their school, then it's valid for you, basically, yeah? It happens up and down the country, around the world. I'm just kidding. Oh, sorry. So I'm talking personally. I'm speaking about the Shafi madhab, but the Malikis, yeah. Explain to me what you mean the difference, because you're always reading in your own way, aren't you? In that with the situation, you can follow them. You can follow them. It's still valid. Under what premise? Exactly. What was I started off with the key premise. We have a principle in the school which says, if the salah of the imam is valid, then our salah is valid. Does that make sense? So even if he pays differently, if it's valid in his rules, basically under his school, then not. If he's playing obviously incorrectly in his own school, then we're a bit messed up. Yeah. Yeah. If they end the rakah after 2 salahs, and you choose not to do, it's different opinions on this, by the way. I would just go after the opinion that what's valid for them is valid for us. That's easiest to just do it like that. Some people wait and don't do the salam, yeah, and then they wait, don't do the salam, and when the imam gets up, they get up at the same time, and then they just join the third like that. So let's say they did the 2, yeah, I stayed quiet. Then they got up to do their final third. I get up and I join that final third. That's valid as well. Yeah, it's valid. Some Hanafis do that because they don't want to do the salam because of the. Well, fair question. But when the imam does, okay, so the imam does Rafadain every single time he goes up and down. Do you do Rafadain every single time? No, you don't. That's my point I'm saying is we still pray it to the extent that we can. We still pray our own way. We don't do Rafadain after. What I'm saying is that just because he's doing it different, it doesn't cause an invalidation for your salah. It just means that yours remains valid, provided his is valid under his school. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Personally speaking, what I'm saying to you is that my personal opinion would be just follow what the imam does. That's easy, that's a quicker thing. In that scenario, by the way. In that with the scenario, because it's a bit complicated. Yes, Salman. A lot of people are like that. Yeah. That's alright, just leave it as that. As long as what we don't know can't, I was going to say what we know can't kill us, but. Yeah. Let's imagine we're in a masjid. Brothers, we are in a masjid. Can I just make that point? No, don't do that. That's Shias, by the way. You wouldn't be able to pray behind them. Period. No, you don't. Saul sees that all the time. The Shias at work. Yeah, we have loads of them. But no, you wouldn't join the Slav, by the way. No, did I tell you what happened once? It was hilarious. I'll talk about it later, actually. So that's it. So guys, I'm just going to quickly go on to this. Just want to make sure that everyone is crystal clear on. Brothers, pay attention. Just want to make Sufyan? Sufyan is on this book. What's that? Yeah, we can actually have our hands down. Yeah, if our hands, there's no obligation. Do you know why can we? Because they go by Imam Jafar. Imam Abu Hanifa also learnt from Imam Jafar as well. There's a shocker, isn't it? So you have Imam Malik of the founder of the Maliki school, one of the most ancient schools. He was the Imam of what town? Medina Munawwara. That's why they have a big emphasis on urs, which is called custom. What's custom? Saud, what's custom? When I say custom, so we're talking about the Maliki madhab. So they have a big, strong emphasis on custom, i.e., what's being done in the customs of the town, the community. Why do you think they have such a big emphasis on custom? What did you say? Exactly. That's very good. He was the Imam of what city? Medina. So he takes the urs, the custom of Medina, as a very, very high ranking. So if people in Medina did something, he would say that's prophetic. Then you got Imam Shafi. He has a very strong emphasis on Arabic language. And then we have Imam Abu Hanifa of the Hanafi. He has a very strong logical and intellectual understanding. Each of them always, this is all after Quran and Hadith, by the way, just to make a point. And fourth is Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal. Imam Malik and Imam Abu Hanifa crossed over. Imam Shafi and Imam Malik crossed over. Imam Shafi, Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal crossed over. So some crossed over more than others. There's a beautiful story actually, which I was mentioning to one of the brothers here. That sorry, someone else had a question before I tell the story. Yeah, Imam Shafi would go. Imam Shafi knocked on the door. Imam Shafi was very poor. He knocked on the door of Imam Malik and said, "I want to learn." Imam Malik looked at him and said, "What you're having a laugh?" He goes, "I know your entire book by heart." So he recited the Mu'atta on the Imam to him. Then he let him join his class, and then he goes that when he was teaching Imam Shafi, he was very poor. He didn't have any pens or paper, so he was writing on his hand like this, like I am. Imam Malik's talking. Imam Malik goes to Imam Shafi, what are you doing? He goes, "I'm writing what you're saying." He goes, "Show me your hand." There's nothing there. He goes, "Okay, tell me what I said." He looked at his hand. He goes, "You just said this," and he read every single word that Imam Malik had just recited. That was his strength. At 15, I think they gave him the position of Qadi, and they got that he would be able to read a book, and by the time he's finished the other side, he's memorized one side of the page. That was his strength. And they got that. This is a statement of Imam Shafi, by the way. He goes that towards the end of his life, he goes that he was walking one day, and there was a woman that was in front of him, and her jubba just came up above her ankle. Where did it come up above? Just her ankle, and he saw just that tiny bit of flesh. And how do I say in a manner which befits him, and which he liked? So he just saw a tiny bit of her flesh, in an alluring way. Yeah. He goes, just because of that, he lost half his memory. Half his memory, just by the jubba of a woman. I'm talking about just came up above the ankle. He said, looked at that, and his eyes caught onto it. It's not like he's gazing at it. And he goes, because of that, he lost half his entire memory. And this is who am I speaking about? The person that was writing on his hands, who memorized the Muwatta of Imam Malik, and who could walk to, when he was going to his lessons, he would literally read the book like that, and then he'd go like that, and he's already memorized the page that he just read. That's the strength of his memory was, and that's what they go. There's so food for thought, I think. No, I think he predeceased him, but Imam Shafi had a very beautiful supplication about Imam Abu Hanifa. He said there would be no Shafi if it was not for Imam Abu Hanifa, because Imam Abu Hanifa effectively codified the law and that they had, and so that's why they call him what's it? Imam as basically the Imam Abu Hanifa. G? Yes, they were, inshallah. Incredible. They go that Imam Abu Hanifa would not, if he lent someone money, he wouldn't stand in the shadow of their house for fear that it would be regarded as a riba. So he wouldn't stand. So if he's lent someone, so I've lent Abdul Qadir some money, yeah. I'm going. It's a hot day. I go past Abdul Qadir's house, and there's a shadow that's coming from his house because of the sun. Imam Abu Hanifa would be too afraid to stand in the shadow because he's taking benefit, thinking that because I lent him money, that's going to get classed as interest. Yeah. Sorry? Perhaps I'm not that I'm aware of. I'm sure they wouldn't dislike them. But okay, brother. I think unless there's any specific questions, I think we're going to conclude. Yes, brother Saul. Yes. Why is each salah the length that it is? In terms of wisdom, or in terms of because obviously from our perspective, there's one element to it. There's a Sharia element. That's how it's been ordained for us, and that's how we pray. So we subject that, and that's how we understand from hadith and the like. When the Prophet, I think there can be. Not, I won't be able to proffer any further explanation, but I'm sure there are many other people around here that probably would be able to, inshallah. Gee, from you, why does they follow a lot of imams, but I think Imam Jafar is where part of this. So that's why it's quite similar to how they pray as us at some level. Yeah, but okay, brothers. Other than, does anyone have? Can I just quickly run through this now? Everyone's clear on the course. Yeah, the booklet that Imam Qais has given you. You've gone through this. The method of doing the dhikr, the purpose of purification. So just that, because everyone here came in terms of their objective. So the overriding objective of what this course, what does it seek to achieve? Saud? Yeah, but to get there, there's 4 sub-objectives. What are those? Those are your 4 preconditions. That's really good. Okay, what are the 4? But no, let's not go preconditions. I want you have the destination in mind. You're flying to that destination. You know what it is that you want to attain, which is the rida and the pleasure of Allah. Then you have 4 sub-objectives to get to that. Because can you make Allah be pleased with you? A resounding no. You can't. You can't make Allah. But what you can do is you can seek to get to a position where if you do all of these things, you would pray that Allah is happy with you. And the first of those sub-objectives are that you do what? What can you do? You can prefer Allah over all else. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to just turn this off for a moment, actually. process.